people do need a solution in the moment so that they don't go through the whole cycle of the parts or the karma and have it acted out on the stage of life and then be required to try to unwind what has happened uh, or fix the issues that it might generate in the social or relational venue. So you've got options available to you. We've told you about the pressure point on your left hand between your thumb and your index finger and the webbing there, the 6 breath cycle for forgiving. So if you chose every time you went into any story, any fear, any insecurity, any hatred, to immediately forgive. Now, that's amazingly simple and can be affected in any relationship dynamic, in any social or team process. And it covers all of this territory to one degree or another, meaning you can forgive yourself for wanting to be in control. You can forgive yourself for hating someone. You can forgive someone that you hate. And when you do so, when you just forgive whatever the feeling is, it tends to be diminished, dissolved, resolved to a significant extent. That said, the anchoring and integration process, if you can, you may not be able to utilize it as openly, socially, so to speak. You can online here on Zoom. If anyone's hating John at this moment or thinking he's a jerk or shouldn't be talking, we get that. You could be anchoring and integrating all of those feelings along with some positive imagined states or feelings. And by doing so, get to the point of equanimity and say, well, John may be full of baloney and not have any clue at all what he's talking about. And I'm not upset. I don't hate him. He's not bad. I'm not going to judge him. And I can hope he quits talking real quick, and then we can get on to useful stuff. So that process of anchoring and integration is a step up from this pressure point on your left hand, because it not only resolves the feeling of the moment, over time, it integrates more and more and more of your system. Now, if you were to visualize your root chakra as red and anchor that color on the back of your hand, and then visualize your second chakra as orange, and your third chakra is yellow, heart chakra, green and gold, etc., with your eyes closed. It's useful to always have your eyes closed when you do anchoring and integration. And then integrate all of those colors of your chakras, including the earth chakra beneath your feet, brown, and your violet and silver and gold chakras above your head. If you were to integrate those once a week, does it make sense that you would generate a heightened capacity to process all of the information in your system in such a way as to improve your quality of processing of any sensory input with greater equanimity, with greater capacity, with less fear, with less projection, with less worry or anxiety or stress on any topic, and free yourself from emotional reactivity? How would life be if you were not? Sorry, go ahead.
It's just amazing, I would imagine. That's so helpful.
Excellent. We would suggest that humanity has been. Have you ever heard someone say, I don't know how I should feel about that? And they're in a quandary about I'm supposed to feel something. There's some expected feeling state I'm supposed to have in this moment that someone else would have. And that's what I'm supposed to be feeling. And I'm not sure what that is. So I'm in a quandary. And I assume that if I feel something reactively, that that's somehow going to get me through this process of interacting with this person or this situation or this social process. We might suggest that that's an erroneous assumption. Anything and everything that triggers you, you can anchor and integrate with some happy thoughts, some peaceful understandings. The reason for the anchoring the imagined joyful states is because the parts of you that have been in pain, in suffering, in anger, in judgment, self-judgment and self-punishment, or judgment and punishment of others, they don't understand life can be peaceful. They have no clue that life can be joyful, fun, and happy. And you're offering them this information, this basic information that says life can be graceful, beautiful, gentle, harmonious, fun, and worthwhile when you integrate those happy thoughts or those positive perspectives with all of the different fragments of negative reaction or projection or life interpretation. So and then we would say it's a big step to anchor and integrate all of your subconscious fragmented parts and beliefs. By the way, if you anchor all of your beliefs together, are you going to suddenly not be able to function in the world? Or are you going to be able to feel more internally whole and complete? And when you truly care about something, will you be able to move as a unified being, an empowered, unified being towards whatever is truly important to you in your heart and soul, instead of trying to meet your own self-expectations, operate from a bunch of fragmented, not aligned beliefs that you've held as necessary or vital, and which are each limited and thus limiting in their process of influence and effect on your behavior, your decision-making, your emotions, your interpretive processes, your learning, and your relationships. So we're talking about augmented human capacity. And then we would say that once all of that's integrated and you've arrived at the highest capacity that an integrated subconscious can offer you, that there are many, many levels and layers of consciousness beyond that. And they only become possibly realizable once you've gotten all this disorder organized, integrated, synthesized, brought to balance and harmony. So does it make sense with this fragmented process why so many people have a difficult time arriving at consciousness, because it's such a distracting impediment to holding any conscious state with equanimity or any state of love, kindness, and care with a continuity of positive discerning intention and remaining sovereign in such a conflicted, tumultuous world as we all live in at this time. If you had 1,000 unhappy thoughts, and they were unhappy thoughts because every one of them was to a degree obscured, meaning they, metaphorically, if you had 50 windows in your house that were all very small, so that when you looked out any of those windows, all you could see was a blade of grass, or all you could see was a rock, or all you could see was part of the sidewalk. Does it make sense that that's a dynamic of obscured mind and thought and processing of information and reality? So even if every one of those 50 windows was showing you something that brought you unhappiness, if you could turn them all into one big picture window that showed you the whole outdoors, does it make sense that the whole outdoors would make sense? We first suggest not utilizing any positive memory as an integration element. So you're integrating an imagined positive experience, and you can't dilute an imagined positive experience, if you know what we mean. And equanimity is a dynamic in its higher forms of being able to experience any experience in life, any relationship dynamic, see the good of it, see the necessity of it, understand it, learn from it, whatever can be learned from it, without judging it, without hating it, without resenting it, without feeling it shouldn't be, without trying to control it. So is equanimity a dynamic of being able to integrate the seemingly negative and the seemingly positive into a neutral, balanced, harmonious, complete understanding that can be functionally operated from and support a state of continuous inner peace. And I'll even say that the beautiful bird flying through the sky, instead of seeing it as a physical being that's flying through the sky, with enough attainment of consciousness, you can realize it as an expression of God operating in the fabric or the process of God, and love it way more than you could egoically love a beautiful bird flying in the sky. And you can love people that you would otherwise hate. You can love people who would tribally be vilified or punished or hated or that anybody and everybody would want to destroy. You can love them. That doesn't mean advocating that their negative behavior. It means you can love them enough to try to help them up the hill and not get them halfway up the hill and say, "Oh, I'm just going to let go of you now and sit and watch you fall because you deserve it because you're bad." You can truly want them to go all the way up the hill and truly intend that and do your very best to bring that about. Not everybody wants to go up the hill. And if they don't want to, it's not wrong to let them go. And if you do so, you can do it with love. And you can help people up the hill that want to get up the hill.